I do believe we are live. Moto Monday, what is this, 104? With
104.
Jeremiah Fultz. You've been on here before.
I think this is 4 times now?
Well,
Or is this the 5th time?
It's always a good time having you on, man.
Well, last time was a little rough, but, you know, hey.
It's all good.
We make up for it.
It's all good. Let's see. Yeah, we're using a new computer today.
Trying to figure this one out.
Making sure everything's working. But I think we are. Sweet.
We smooth up and rolling.
Today we are.
Trying to figure this one out.
Hopefully everyone can hear sure everything's working. But I think we're up. We're live.
We
having some
smooth
fun.
up and rolling.
Today we're going to talk
Trying
some
to figure this one out.
promotions. Hopefully everyone can
Promotions.
hear sure everything's working.
We're live.
I think we're live. Well, I don't even know if
promotions
today
is the
we're
right
talk some
term
for it.
out.
But hopefully everyone can hear
Promotions.
sure
Yeah.
everything's
Future.
working.
We're
I don't
live.
know. We're
What
live.
little
Little
that we can
do about it.
we
We
know
know
about
about
it.
it for it.
But
But hopefully everyone can hear
Promotions.
sure
Yeah.
everything's
Future.
working.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Live.
We're live. Little that we can do about it. We know about it for it. But hopefully everyone can hear sure everything's working.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're live. Little that we can do about it. We know about it. We're talking about hopefully everyone can hear sure everything's working.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're live. Little that we can do about it. We know about it. We're talking about not that one. Can hear sure everything's working. I don't know. We're live. Little that we can do about it. We know about it. We're talking about not that one. Can hear sure everything's working. I don't know. We're live. Little that we can do about it. We know about it. We're talking about not that one. Can hear sure everything's working. Sorry guys, had to fix the audio there for a second.
Audio going a little crazy, or
Yeah, new computer, you know. New computer. I think we got that going. But
back to live again.
hopefully back to live, I think so. But yeah, you know, I made a post. I made a post yesterday, and it was a little overwhelming what happened today. You stopped by.
I stopped by. There was 514 shares. I think you're up over 1,100 now.
Yeah, and just the
Yeah.
time you were hanging out here, almost 100 shares to it. I had no idea that was going to happen. It was one of those, you know, you get an idea, and you try to write it down because, like, you know, I feel like I had a point, or that was, you know, you feel like you got something out of it. And sometimes I make a post, or I just do a quick live video, and I get it out while it's still fresh in my head. Because if you just let it just sit and simmer, sometimes you lose some key points, and you know you don't get the full thing.
Well,
so that was just when it popped in my head. I'm working in the shop, headphones in. I was like, the reason I made the post was I feel like a lot of people take these tracks for granted. They could very well just disappear. We need to support them, and whether you're a promoter, a racer, a parent, whatever, it was kind of just all encompassing. I think we just need to support the tracks and support the events because they might not be there tomorrow. And some of my favorite places to ride are gone. Just disappeared. They're gone.
Yeah, we were talking about that this morning. I mean, just the ones that you didn't even mention: Barlow, we lost Toes, Burnt Ridge, but Salem's gone.
They're making a comeback though.
Are they okay? So,
Yeah, Salem Marine Cross making a comeback. The Leeches got it done. Castle Rock Motocross.
Castle Rock Motocross, one of my favorites. So
Yeah,
had a
gone.
lot of good times there.
They can disappear. AMA Arena Cross is the best example because that was a national series that a ton of pros raced at. It's just gone.
Well, Ricky Carmichael, that was the promotion though. That was the Road to Supercross. And where's the Road to Supercross start now?
Well, they do have their, whatever they call the amateur thing at a lot of the Supercrosses, which is cool. I appreciate that. That is cool. But it'd also still be cool to have the Arena Cross series. I like that. So.
Yeah, the Arena Cross.
What do you do?
Well, it was nice because you go to the Coliseum, see stuff like that. It was more fan interactive than, yeah, you could go up and go through the pits during Supercross, but there's not a lot of fan interaction when you're there. You're in a 60, 70,000 seat stadium, so.
Yeah, a little different.
Little
Arena
different.
Cross is a little more personal.
Yeah, Endurocross, same thing. I went
Endurocross
up and watched
is gone.
Endurocross,
Yeah.
watched that in Everett. Loved it.
Endurocross is gone.
Gone. We did do a little Endurocross at the fairgrounds. That was pretty awesome.
That was cool to see. Sad I missed it. But that was cool to watch.
Yeah, a little light on the turnout, but I think a lot of people didn't know what it was. Plus, we were competing with Thursday Night Motocross. But was a good time. Colton Haker showed up out there. Jared Stanky showed up out there. Devin Harriman was racing the pro class. So it was a decent turnout in the pro class. And then the amateurs were spread out between youth and women. We had 40, 50 plus guys out there. So it was fun.
I like seeing that they did that. That was cool.
And it was a good fan interaction. That's a great venue to have that, I think, in the little fairground setting, because it's something most people haven't seen before. And it just worked out really well. I'm hoping next year the promotion gains a little bit more traction and they start promoting it a little bit earlier.
So let's talk about this. Let's first, actually, I want to bring up something that was kind of interesting today. Someone saw my post and hit me up. And I want... Joe, turn your mic on. Okay. I want your honest feedback. Someone hit me up and sent me a message. Basically, he's like, I see your posts. I'm not going to name names, but I see your posts. And I'm going to kind of abbreviate this slightly. It's not right in front of me. But I feel like it's not really... You're trying to portray something that you're really not. And basically it was saying I was... Basically a self-absorbed asshole. And...
Why? Because you're pointing out that these tracks have disappeared?
No, I think he was trying to say the post was positive, but in person, I'm not that person.
I've known you for a long time, and you are that person. You promote Riverdale. You promoted Castle Rock. You promote Mountain View. I've been to events where that's what you do. You promote hey, let's make it racing cheaper so people will come and race.
I find, and he's not the only person to bring this up, and I kind of appreciate it, but you guys can tell me straight up if I am totally different, because I feel like a few people might get that. This is my opinion, trying to outside look in. See me on race day, because I'm a little different person. I'm a little bit different person on race day on events I'm running. And even one of my good friends, my office manager, Charla, has told me I'm a little more of an asshole come race day. However, I'm not trying to back up for me being an asshole, because I don't want people to think of me as that. I don't want to be that guy. Now, if you're causing problems, go ahead and think of me as an asshole, because I'm going to try to remove the problem. But on race day, I mean, okay, so you're...
I've been there on your race day.
Yeah, you've been there on a lot of my race days, and you've been the race marshal for a lot of events. It can be chaos from 6 a.m. all day. The last Mini Bike National, my phone said I did 30,000 steps.
Oh, you were all over the place.
Run. You're
seen
putting
you for
out
a total
fires.
of 5, maybe 10 minutes.
Putting out fires all day long, and you just kind of get in that, your brain is just that quick snap, flash decisions here, there. You have to worry about, oh, my office lady needs to use the restroom. What's going to do? Or, because they're in the middle of paperwork. Or the front gate person tripped, hurt their leg, and they have to go get it bandaged up. So now we're short staffed, and now there's a line out to the road. Oh, guess what? Starting gate don't work. Oh, the computer won't turn on. Hey, Justin, what's the password for the computer? Hey, Justin, where's the battery pack? Hey, Justin, we were out of toner. Shoot, somebody run and grab the toner from the box. Oh, the toner's broken. Someone go grab some from Walmart half hour away. All these things, maybe I'm not the best at handling it, and I can come across a certain way. I'm curious, you both have seen me, though. I mean, one, do you think I come across a little different way on race days? And two, do you think I'm faking any of it?
No, we've known each other long enough, and we've been through the race scenarios and the shop scenarios and everything else, just working together, do what we do. And no, I think
you're two of the straightest shooters I know, so you can tell me.
I've seen you at the track. It's just like you said, you've got to make a decision right now. You've got to get through it, and you're on to the next thing. You can't just stop and sit there and coddle somebody's feelings. So
let's say more serious, more serious.
Yeah.
When you're
more to the point.
An event, which you have to be.
But I kind of appreciate a second person, I believe, this year who've came up and told me. I think I appreciate that 10 times more than someone who'll just talk behind your back.
Right.
I'd much rather someone come tell me, hey, I think you're acting like this. Something a lot of times they're right. I actually respect that. So I don't know. That was the one thing I saw from my post that I thought I'd start off before we go deep into the promotion, future Moto thing. Just, I don't know, get your guys' thoughts on it.
Well, people trying to get stuff done usually aren't the nicest people on earth. When you're in the rush.
Go talk to Ryan Huffman on the day of the Nationals.
Exactly. Yeah, go talk to anybody who's working the Nationals on the day of the Nationals or 2 days before the Nationals.
Or even the next day. Oh, man, your brain is fried. the next day after a race.
Oh, after Summer Classic. I remember the first Summer Classic. Remember that was a stress. What are we going to do? There's nobody showing up. And then everybody came at once. And we were cars down to the freeway. Whew. That was gnarly.
Yes.
As you're trying to run a race, trying to figure out what the people are doing up front, people are doing at the gates, trying to collect money, trying to get pros in order, trying to keep pros happy or relatively content. It's
a lot.
It's a lot of work.
My brain is just mush the next day, and which is usually rough because we have a Moto Monday the next day after a race, and it's what I don't even know what I'm going to talk about.
I finally got to sit down with you, for 25, 30 minutes after the race, and that was at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night after the Pit Bike National.
Oh, the Pit Bike National was rough because, it didn't end. We had the night race. It did not end until like 10:30 for me. And then I just like kind of sat in that chair like, oh, that was a day.
Well, and then
it was fun, but
was fun.
It was
you still had people rolling in
nonstop
for the race the next day too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was, and you were
never
back
ending.
Up there bright and early the next morning.
Yeah, bright and early.
Yeah, what do you do?
I feel like we might give some of these promoters some crap and these track owners when we don't need to. I think they don't always understand. I'm getting away from myself now, but like I've seen some people get beat up that are like track owners, for example, online. And I'm like, man, do you know what they got to do? I love social media. And, I do social media consultation, marketing strategies. I'm big into social media. The one unfortunate thing, I believe that social media has opened up, I think most people would agree, is it's now given a platform to people complaining. Instead of you just keeping that complaint to yourself, in 30 seconds, you can make a post about it.
Yeah.
And I think that has really put a hurt. This is my opinion. I think that has definitely put a hurt on tracks because every track in the Northwest has haters. It's how it goes. There's always going to be haters for something, no matter how good you are, what you try. You're going to have conflict with certain groups. Maybe they don't like your personality. Maybe they don't, whatever. That's human nature, right? Mm-hmm. Well, now that gets public, and one guy went there, had a run-in with the track owner's wife over the taco stand or whatever, and then now suddenly they've been talking for 2 months straight how the track is shitty, not prepped right. Someone's going to read that like, well, I don't want to go to a poorly prepped track, and they're not going to go.
Well, that brings up another point. Prep tracks. You should be lucky you're riding on a track. Most of them are prepped pretty well compared to... Been to California and seen some of the tracks down there? Have you been to other places? Have you been to Pilot Rock yet?
Dude, we need to go to Pilot Rock.
On it.
I have not been riding at all this year, and it's been a little rough. I mean, you've seen me. This has been a rough year for Justin. I have not been riding. It's just been go, go, go. I really do want to go ride there. I would agree. I think we complain too much about prep, and that's coming from Princess that really likes a well-groomed, smooth track. However, I have to remind myself, a lot of these tracks were worse 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Oh, horrible.
Like, honestly, the prep work has gotten better.
I think a lot of people in this area are spoiled because of PIR. PIR has beautiful, groomed, lovely dirt when it's not overwatered. And then you have Washougal. And Washougal, every time you go up there, it's prepped.
Oh, I'm sorry. The last time I was at Washougal was horrible.
Was it?
Because
I haven't been there in a couple of years, so.
Here's the thing. That dirt is dead. Dead. Dirt dies, okay? So that dirt has been pulverized for decades. And it's sweet after the Nationals. You get all that straw. They get that, some life back into it and stuff. But when they prepare for big events, they got to disc deep. They got to throw some water on. On a nice sunny day, it's mud until like 11 o'clock. And I had an early moto.
Ooh,
and I used all my tear-offs. I come back like, well, I was in a perfectly fine mood. I'm not dissing Washougal because I knew exactly why it was muddy. And it just is what it is. But it was like, I cannot believe I just did a July mud race. But it is what it is. Because by the end of the day, it's dusty. What do you do? There's nothing you can do about it. It just is what it is.
Mountain View's a perfect example
of
that.
Mountain View. It's so, like, we
That
have that little sweet spot And it's so hard to get there because overwater and it's this sticky, nasty mess. You don't water enough, and it quickly will turn into blue groove and dust.
Yep.
It's tough.
Marbles on top of concrete is what it feels like.
I know we all want a good groomed track, and I know there's some places that definitely could do better. Just saying that as a caveat here, but I feel like we do complain maybe a lot about prep and layout. You need to go Montana. Go race Montana. Every track. Hit every track. You come back here, guaranteed you're going to appreciate everything. You're like, what is this? So that's my opinion. I think we complain a little much on track prep when we have it pretty decent around here. Oh, Minnesota. Go ride a couple Minnesota tracks. Dude, I checked out some of those one time. Like, what is this? Did we just literally take old Farmer Ben's backhoe out here and just start throwing some stuff together? Like, dude, I'm looking at this track like, how do you race this? How on God's green earth? There's like 150 entries there. They're racing. They're going. And I'm just like, I'm speechless right now.
Ruts 2 feet deep and
nothing was
blowing out.
All the lips, none of the lips were packed in, so they were just rutted up. Flat corners, didn't build up any berms, and they put like this table section so close together you had to perfectly land in it to hit the next one. People were just nosing their front tire in, flipping over the bars. Whoops were built with a backhoe.
Oh.
Just dig out, move over here, dig out, move over here. Just like, and they were just sending it. And it was in some like pasture. I forget the name of it, but
probably didn't know any better.
Oh, and dirt bikes and quads race together.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't do that. I remember those days at Riverdale.
And Woodland?
Oh,
remember the Sunday Scrambles? It was Sunday Scrambles, right?
I didn't race Woodland back when that was going on. I remember they used to do the quads in the morning, and then the bikes would come on afterwards. And then when they had to start racing, they couldn't start till 10 is when they moved the quads out completely.
Yeah, there's another thing. If you want to start thinking dirt bikes, motocross, it's never going away. I bet you the quad guys thought the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
How'd that go for you? It's basically dead.
Yeah. Quad cross?
Quad cross is the last thing going. But you can't really go on any track and practice. It's gone.
No, it's reserved for the GNCC guys pretty much now. And you get a few what works races in between. The UTV classes are coming up, but that's a whole different ball of wax. That's a $40,000-$50,000 machine and then $20,000.
UTVs are never taken over.
No, but they're not going to take over dirt bikes.
They're too expensive.
Yes.
I mean, I know everyone's getting excited about the Washougal series. You're getting 60 entries. Let's all.
That's pretty nice though. 60
chill.
Entries.
We got 168 pit bike entries.
I know that's.
But you can pick up a pit bike for $900 on Craigslist. You can pick up a UTV for $12,000 and get last place because it's underpowered, under suspension. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
there's less people can really afford a UTV. I'm not hating on UTVs. I think it's an interesting concept, and I would be interested in maybe doing some stuff. But people get a little excited and say they're taking over. I just don't see it. They're just too expensive.
You're never going to take over a dirt bike. A dirt bike is just too easy and too cheap to get into.
Yeah.
You can go out there on a $1,000 10-year-old bike and be competitive in the junior class. So your average rider can go out and be competitive on a 2002 YZ426. Think about that. Think about that technology. That's a 17-year-old bike now.
And do just fine.
So,
what do you think?
Or the intermediate class on a CR250 that was built for the trails. We proved that the last year I had the shop.
Jerry Robbins. Local here.
Local?
What was his name?
Jared Newberg.
Jared Newberg, yes. Smoking everybody on that CR250.
And then he moved to my 01 at the last race when he moved up to intermediate because he blew up the 04.
But look at Jerry Robbins, what he was doing on that 89, I think.
86.
It was 86 CRs?
86 CR250.
Granted, they were some pretty sweet ones, but still, that's a 30-year-old bike. and he was smoking some boys in the intermediate class.
Yeah.
Smoking some boys. I think that's one thing that is kind of hurting. I feel like there is a clique, and if you do not have the latest and greatest and fit into that clique, and it's been that way for quite a while. Motocross has it. Off-road guys don't really.
No.
But you can go ahead and go race off-road on your 426 with your 15-year-old moose gear, and you're just fine. You're just another one of the dudes.
XR 400.
Yeah, it don't matter. But motocross, you kind of get viewed as the goofball.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how to fix that. I think that is hurting the numbers. And I don't want to always be a Debbie Downer when I bring up the topic of the future of motocross, because I think it could be really good. And we've had some great turnouts at some events the past 12 months. We've had some good turnouts.
Oh, yeah.
We've also had some really bad ones. Like, I know a few people bring up, this race, over here had 400 entries. We had a Riverdale round with 475. We had the Dream Race had over 400. We've had some good entries. But don't forget, guys, I follow a lot of these results, and there's been races, I'm not going to name tracks, 82 riders, 93 riders, 105 riders. Like, that ain't paying the bills.
It's on a main Sunday series.
That's scary to me because it's getting harder and harder to run a track. I don't own a track. Mm-hmm. I'm the marketing guy. I'm the promo guy. That's my job. I don't own a track, but I know a lot of these track owners. I know it's not easy. And I've seen some of these track owners shut it down just because they cannot afford it. So I want to see this sport thrive. I love motocross. I like riding. I've met some of my best friends in motocross. I've met Joe. I've met you.
Well,
we literally met.
We met off-road.
Okay, we met off-road. We met on dirt bikes, though.
Yes, we met on dirt bikes.
We met on dirt bikes. Reese, who's not here
today. I met Joe
today.
on dirt bikes. I met Reese on dirt bikes.
Yeah.
We've all met through dirt bikes.
Yeah. I've met a lot of the good friends in my life through dirt bikes, and so I got a passion for it because it's kind of a part of me. I just want to see the sport do good, do well, thrive. I could really care less about the national stuff. That's a whole different ball of wax. But, it's fun to talk about. But it's like the local scene, though, is the one I'm in. That's what I'm riding in, racing in.
What do you think is some of the downfalls? Like, what are we seeing that is kind of detrimental to what we want to see happen?
I think it's getting expensive to do. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's the number one problem. I mean, we can bring it up a lot, how it used to be a lot cheaper to get a bike, all that. Okay, I get that. And even honestly, the bike costs don't scare me as much as the maintenance costs. A 250F is a maintenance nightmare.
Yeah.
If
The
bikes will hold together. As long as you're not at pro level speed and you keep the air filter clean and the oil changed, you can put 100 hours on that bike and do it.
I'm not putting 100 hours on a KX250F.
I would say an 08 to 13 RMZ 450 or a 13 to 16 450 Honda.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking bulletproof.
Oh, any YZ, I think.
450 is much more so than any 250F, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, YZ for sure.
The maintenance costs have gone up.
450 for sure.
For a newer rider who doesn't really know how to do it, though, a lot more chance of a failure if he just, a 19-year-old kid who wasn't taught everything on how to take care of a bike, he goes and screws something up on his YZ125. Okay, take it to Bob over here. He'll hone your cylinder. Teach him how to throw in a piston. One night over a couple beers, boom, you're good to go. A few $100. He screws up on his 250F. There's a good chance he's done riding.
Yeah.
And he's like, how much? Or he has a Honda.
Did
they switch over to? Do they have one oil fill spot or two? A lot of those.
The Hondas still two.
Yeah.
I think it's,
how many
it's
people
one now, but it was two.
Yeah, most of them are back
17.
to one. So.
You know how many people only filled up one?
Oh, yeah. No, I owned a shop. I know.
Yep.
I've seen it many times.
I was overfilled on a Honda once, and it was, I think, on the left side. So I'm draining the left side bolt.
That's the
right side. But it's the wrong side. Yeah,
exactly.
It's like, okay, so it's opposite.
You got to have a manual. And I think a lot of it, the problem that I've seen, especially over the last couple years, is guys thinking they need to do maintenance that doesn't need to be done. I need to check my valves. I can't afford to take it down to somebody and have them do it, so I'm going to do it myself. Start pulling the tensioner. Things aren't in the right spot. start it up, bend a valve, things like that. Your valves probably didn't need to be checked. Your bike ran perfectly. And that's a lot of the things. You got guys that don't understand. Realistically, these new 4-strokes, they are pretty bulletproof if you're not on the rev limiter the whole time. Most of the guys at my speed are never getting even 3/4 away to that rev limiter.
Yeah.
I even
So they're
checked.
going to live.
I even checked. Jacob Payne has a 17, I think, 450 Honda. I forgot how many hours he on. I checked the valves. Perfect.
Spot on.
Yeah.
So you
Perfect.
don't.
I was so happy.
Yeah, people are.
Well, we're still mostly talking 450s,
Well,
but
yeah.
450s, but even the 250s for the average guy that's not out there just hammering off.
a lot of
rev limiter.
mismaintenance, though, like you said, though, I think will lead
Yep.
to it. But
I watched a guy change his oil filter and oil at the track. Really, you're putting 3 hours on the bike today. You really don't need to
probably
do
be
that.
fine. You're fine.
And
yeah.
that's where you know, oh, I put the filter in wrong because you're rushing through it, or I didn't get the drain plug in, and then I seized my bike up. Just things like that. People don't understand that really the basic maintenance that needs to be done. Change your oil every 10 hours.
Air filter.
Keep your air filter clean and make sure it's seated properly. Those two things will triple the lifespan of a motor.
Agreed. My point with that, though, I don't think that's the main thing.
No.
However, I think the click mentality and
Looking good.
Yeah,
Looking good.
they think they have to have the 6D with the latest whatever. What? I can't
Testament.
keep up with
6D.
the gear. Like what's the cool gear right now?
Don't know.
Well, it's always going to be
I still
the
got
high-end Fox.
I still have
360
one
Fox.
industry gear at home.
The new
Out
Fly,
Yeah, the new
or you want to
Fly,
support
yeah.
local? You got Active, Legacy, Optimal, all those. But the new color comes out. You got to have that. I'm like, what are you doing with the old color? I literally want to start racing in jeans and a long sleeve shirt now. Yeah, have you seen those street bike jeans? They look like denim, but they got built-in knee pads and
Yep.
everything. I'm just gonna do that. Like, as much I love, like I have too many sets of gear. I love it, but it's like I almost feel like because I have people come in. Oh, I don't know if I can go. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know if you can go on this riding trip? Because why? I don't have any money. You just bought new boots and new gear 2 weeks ago. Maybe that's why you have no money.
I'm riding on 7-year-old boots, a 3, possibly 4-year-old helmet. I do have some fairly new gear, but I worked at a shop, so I got it cheap and on closeout. So I am kind of a gear whore, but
That's what I did.
But it's always-
when I would buy gear, it'd be clearance.
clearance gear.
And I only bought new gear if I changed sizes because I got bigger.
Oh, see, and I kind of dropped weight, so I had to go down because I had the Sansa belt tight and then all the way clicked in. I'm like, it's still. I'm out there Dean Wilsoning it. I wasn't too happy with that one. So
I feel
But-
like the people who think they need to keep up with the Joneses is actually causing them to ride less because they're blowing all their money just to try to fit in and look cool. And it's unnecessary. I know a lot of people hate on
Bulldozer
Ronnie
truck.
Mack, but he's almost helping because it's okay to have that 98 CR250. He's almost helping. I know it's a complete goofball thing, but I feel like he's almost helping. So that's just one area that I think, once again, my opinion, that we're struggling with is I think there's too much of the keeping up with the Joneses, clicky thing, and motocross is the little prima donnas of the two-wheel off-road sports. Flat track doesn't have it that bad. The off-road dudes definitely don't have it.
No.
We're kind of the prima donnas.
I think that's a lot of it. Guys need to start crossing over more too.
Oh, totally.
Do some off-road races. I can guarantee you'll do a couple off-road races and love that, and it'll help reignite your.
Reese joined.
What's up, Reese? And then it'll help you reignite your passion for moto, because that's what it did for me. I love racing, but you get burned out on the going to the track and the quick motos and the things like that, and you kind of lose that drive to go race. I think a lot of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think a lot of the tracks too are putting in stuff that doesn't need to be there for the average Joe. We don't need to be going out. Yeah, it's nice to see that big triple out there or 3 of them, but really all you're doing is hurting the guys that are going to try to do that. You're not helping the pros at all. The 5 that show up, 6 that show up.
Are you ready for this? I think we need to ditch the pro class.
I
I'm putting together a video. I'm having a couple of people help me. I'm going to make a video, hopefully be ready for this fall. It's called Why Pros Are Killing Local Motocross. A little aggressive title, obviously. Mm-hmm. I have some really good friends who are pros, and I don't actually believe the pro class it's an aggressive title.
Right.
Point being, though, there are a lot of problems that come from the pros, including them being some of the most vocal about how you should build a track. Now, you can get some really good input from your fastest guys on, especially berms, lips, like all that kind of stuff. But a lot of these track builders were like, oh, I need to build a 90-foot triple. No, 1% of your racers and riders will be hitting that. And it's the 1% that aren't making you money, because pros get their money back.
Yes.
Pros aren't making anyone money except themselves. We should not build tracks for pros. Now I'm going to get a bunch of DMs from pros. I know, and I get it, and I like some of the big stuff too. However, as a promoter, you got to look, who are your bread and butter? Who are paying the bills? And it's the 35-year-old dad with a 50 rider or two that are going and paying retail for the set of gear. They're the ones buying the good name brand oil, the blah, 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 because they actually have some money.
Buying the new bikes.
And they're paying for 4 or 5 signups. Those are the ones who pay your bills. And when stuff gets built for the pros, the 1%, I'm sorry, it's not helping anyone. It's really frustrating for me, because I've done a lot to help out pros. I put in pro races, obviously, Summer Classic. I helped form the Chaos at Castle Rock. There's, a crew of us that did that, but I was one of the founders of that. I've personally been involved in giving back over $65,000 in cash to Northwest pros. I want to see guys go from 50 ranks up to pro ranks, have the dream, chase the dream, get a lineup on a starting gate at Supercross. However,
or nationals.
Or nationals, I'm sorry. Pro, national scale, whether that be outdoor nationals, Canadian nationals, Supercross, whatever. But I feel like sometimes they're actually killing the local scene, because some of these guys are really vocal, and they're vocal all over their social media. Now, some are very positive. Jaron Forney is one of my favorite kids. Always positive. He has, I swear, the worst luck. He's always going down. He's always there's always something. That kid has the worst luck in the world. He's always upbeat. He's always being positive. I've seen him shake hands with promoters, including myself. Solid dude. Man, there's other ones that just do nothing but complain. Social media, in person, this, that. Like, you aren't the one paying the bills. It's the dude over there that has a full-time construction job that coming out with his kid. He's the one paying the bills.
Or the guys in my class.
Did you bring up that they race like 2-3 classes too? The little ones, the 85s?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're the ones like filling up the ranks of the classes. Yeah. One thing I think we need to see, if we're going on this, in my opinion, I think we need to really cater to the families racing moto. We need to cater to them, because they're the bread and butter. They're the ones keeping it going. Now, 50 parents can be just as bad or worse at times. Guys, just chill out a little.
80 class.
Keep it fun. If you lose the fun part of moto, it will die. It has to remain fun. Guys, don't turn into dickheads once you start racing. Have fun.
What I would like to see, I think, with that is in those the kids' classes, you got a family coming in. You've got mom, dad, usually 2 boys that are racing, and probably a sister that has to come to the track because the boys are there. That's 5 entries you got to pay for, 2 days on most of the amateur races that we're doing. You have one race in 3 classes, the other one race in 3 classes. How much money they're putting into bikes, parts, gear, getting to the track, fuel, everything else. Why is there not a break for those guys that are running 4, 5, 6 classes? How about the vets, guys my age that want to run the 40 plus, 30 plus, and maybe run the Open Am or, 25 C class or whatever. So, it's nice when you can come in and pay for your first class, get your second and your third class discounted, because you're most likely going to come in and race 3 classes then. The other thing, and I've heard it more than once, when you get into a track that doesn't flow because they want to slow down the racers, that I don't understand. I don't understand the idea of slowing somebody down or putting a obstacle in or out of a turn. Let us race. Let us have fun out there. Because with track that flows...
Like what kind of obstacle? What are we talking
I'm
here?
talking when they just cut the track up to where it's turn, 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 single coming out of a corner or into a corner because they want to slow you down.
I like
We've
the
all seen
singles
it.
on the inside of corners.
Well, on
Because the
ins-
inside, a lot of depends on the
on
track.
the inside, but I've seen them all the way across.
Oh,
So
like
they-
like
where they-
walls,
yeah,
where
where
they
they-
build like the T things.
Yeah, or they want to just
Okay.
they want to build stuff to slow you down. Cut the track up more. Let a track flow. That's when your guys get into it. That's when you're able to make all the jumps without having to come out a corner and try to make a double. Really, we don't always need that. Especially guys in my class that we all work tomorrow.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
you're going to have one or two guys that are going to be doing it. And now it's spread that class out so much that we're never going to be up at. What do we want to go race for 7th, 8th place trophies every weekend? I mean, I will just because I love doing it, but there's a lot of guys that get frustrated.
Gotcha. So
Every
you think
year
they're
got
getting a little
2-3
aggressive and they're
sandbaggers coming in.
well, okay. We will never totally get rid of sandbaggers, but I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I'm of the belief, ride whatever there is. We all got to race in the same thing. But yeah, there is sometimes I get where you're coming from, where the track loses its flow. They throw in some weird stuff. Although I like when they throw in a little off camber. I know everybody
I
in
love
the
an
world.
off-camber, yeah.
I know everyone in the world hates when Dave Eakin throws something funky that goes off in the grass.
Oh,
I
no,
kind of
I'll
like
take
it.
that
I kind of
any
like
day.
those.
Yeah,
Those are fun.
Take stuff like that. They throw some weird stuff, but then I'll see them. They just cut the track up. Like we have an obstacle, when they come up
the side of
hill
it?
and then drop it down the other side.
The side of tabletops gets a little funky. I've had some that are fun. Other times, like, what are we doing? But
When
I
you're
don't know. I don't
dropping
have a
off
strong opinion on it.
Well, you're a little faster than some of us, so you got some sketchy dudes in my class.
There's sketchy dudes in my class, dude. We got some sketchy dudes.
I just love racing. I mean, I didn't start till I was 31, so I didn't get the burnout like some of these kids did. And then some of the guys are coming back into it. You're seeing a lot of guys that we haven't seen in a long time also coming back into
Yes.
racing. 10, 15 years. It's like, oh, well, that's a name I haven't seen in a while. Or because their kids are showing up and starting to race now.
Yes.
So they're, I've still got my bike, or I'll go down buy a 54.99 KX250F when they start whoring them out. It's ridiculous.
I got
So-
a Yamaha going up for sale. The 17, and they just dropped the price on the 19s again. It's like sons of bitches every year. Every year. $7,000, brand new. Fuck
One thing. I'm going to go on a little rant. I think one thing, and this is a huge thing. Actually, I'll go to the lawsuits next.
Okay. Oh, that's
Don't let me
ridiculous.
get past that one.
No, that one we need to talk about.
First, though, one of the main killers, and I think this is killing almost every extreme sport in existence. We're talking BMX, skateboarding, snowboarding, motocross, everything.
Video games? Yes. Video games.
Video games. We have a generation, I know every generation says this about the next one coming up, but we really got some weak freaking kids coming up that don't go outside, that do not stay in shape, that don't
I've
want
never
to
been in shape.
they don't want to go lose.
Yeah.
They don't. Okay, no one likes losing, right? They don't want to go to the track and lose, but they're not willing to put in the work to win. You get the few group A-type personality kids that just smoke everyone. You get a lot of these kids, especially by the time they get to the end of high school, who are interested in other kind of things, and they will get their, they'll get their kicks. They'll get their rocks off playing GTA, by playing
Fortnite. By playing.
don't even start on the Fortnite. But like I bash on video games a lot. And that's the guy who just got a new TV today to connect to his Xbox. But
I was gonna say you grew up on video games. I grew up in the video game generation. I was probably one of the first that grew up on that because we come through Ataris and the Nintendos and the PlayStation. Yeah, Activision, all of that. But
Sega.
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 Yeah, but we never, we were still outside playing, and during the winter you'd be in playing video games.
But they're gotten so good and so immersive that we literally have kids just doing that and doing all this other kind of stuff that stayed inside.
We have kids watching YouTube of other kids playing
Playing
video
games, yeah. I
And
made
those
fun of
guys
that.
are making bank off it. the video, I mean, it's not coincidence that the video game industry is going at the same rate. Extreme sports is going like this.
Active sports are going
Because it is hard and it is dangerous to go, do something like a backflip on a snowboard. What if you can do a triple on your video game? It's not the same, but it's close enough. It's kind of cool. It's close enough rather than risk getting hurt.
They had I was sitting down at my folks' house this weekend, flipping through, but I think they got Dish. I don't have a TV service like that at my house. I still have Netflix, watch my NBC
Same.
Sports Gold to watch my racing, and that's about it. But they had the 2019 Nintendo Championship Tournament or something on ESPN.
It's like the spelling bee on ESPN. Come on.
The spelling bee takes. I just didn't understand that. I'm like, we're in football season now. Can't you at least put a football game or something on that, or is there not drag racing or something?
Don't forget
else?
esports.
Oh yeah,
Huge. I mean, people are predicting by 2025, esports will be worth almost as much like football.
Well, hey,
Football will almost be as big as the NFL.
we just had a 29-year-old top prospect NFL quarterback that was a first-round draft pick retire at age 29 because he was tired of getting injured and he was tired of being sore all the time. Andrew Luck, player out of Stanford, drafted number 1 by the
Colts,
the
right?
Colts. Yep. Was supposed to
didn't hear
be
that.
the next coming of Elway, Marino, and Peyton Manning all rolled into one. He's been in the league 6 years, maybe.
Vagahina.
Injured at least 2 or 3 of that. Retires at age 29. They've had linebackers first year in, top round picks. I'm worried about getting a concussion again. I'm worried about head trauma. Retire. That's retiring from Andrew Luck was making 12 or 14 million a year. He left possibly.
He probably
100
made
and some
enough
million.
though. He's okay.
Oh yeah, but he left. To leave 120 million laying on the table.
Yeah. Well, he probably had 120 in the bank.
Yeah, but that's.
People don't want
That's all you
to,
need.
which I get it, getting hurt sucks.
Oh, it's
But people
horrible.
don't want to risk getting hurt, and they're taking the easy way, and there's so many other distractions to entertain you. I mean, on one hand, I get it. No one wants to get hurt. Motocross is super dangerous.
Very.
It freaks me out watching people get paralyzed.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, it freaks me out. On the other hand, though, do you really want to live in a little cotton box your whole life?
No.
Like,
There's a reason I race. There's a reason I fought to race. Because I don't want to be. I'm not that guy. I like to work hard and play hard.
gotta turn this phone off. Sorry, it's making too many noises. I'm still getting notifications like crazy from my previous post. But I really think that is a problem, and I'm not 100% sure how to combat that one. That one's a little big for me. I don't know how to, other than
Starts at home.
come up. Yeah, I can't. What am I going to do?
You're never
What are you
never
going to do?
Me? I got my kids.
You can only really influence them.
I can only influence my kids, but I can influence my kids. I can influence my
I don't
kids
have
as-
kids. I don't even have a cat.
I know.
I do have a praying mantis now.
my kids as friends. It's just as much as you can do to bring you do it with all the promotions you do, everything you do with the mini bike nationals, the free riding clinics, that stuff. That'll bring.
I
think
try.
what we need to do. I think the only way to do it is to get with the youth today and say, hey, the parents, bring a friend to the track that's never been to the track before.
I think
Get
the Pee-wee
people-
class and the pit bike classes and stuff, that's good. Especially like the free Pee-wees. I think that was a good in to get people kind of in. It just as a little extra kicker to get them into trying it. I think once you start doing it for a while, you can get hooked in it. It's like, yeah, this is awesome. But you got to lure them in a bit. You got to lure them in. And I think we need to come up with all sorts of different programs like that. The free riding clinic, same kind of thing.
Yep.
Just get them in. Just come try it a bit. And then some of us experienced people help show you how to do it comfortably, and we'll get you in. And then we want you to have fun, get hooked, and start showing up to more practice days and race days.
I think the biggest segment that's going to be probably the biggest growing is going to be the women's. I think the amount of women that are going to get into riding over the next few years is going to be huge because you have women that they don't have that housewife mentality anymore. They have that, I need to go out and do something. I want something that's mine.
Which
I can
good.
do anything a man can do. You know, the ladies at Dirtastic. There's a whole group of them training the next generation and bringing people into the fold that have never ridden before.
Yep.
And are trying to expand that base. And that's huge. And that, you know, trying to get my daughter. My daughter told me this weekend, you know, she's got to spend the whole weekend together, and just we broke out the vintage bikes at my mom and dad's place and started, you know, I had a 82 XL 250 and a 85 or 82 XR 500, and we were putting around the field. She said, "Dad, I've ridden with you in forever. I want to go ride Eddyville with you." My daughter's been dead set against dirt bikes for the last couple of years. Now she's like, "Hey, let's go out and ride. I want to go check out Eddyville track." Get people out to tracks that have never done it.
I like
Or-
Eddyville.
I love Eddyville.
Golden
That's
Dale.
so much fun.
Eddyville is a blast. I haven't been there in years. That track's so much fun.
Starvation Ridge. I mean, everything out there is so laid back. It's family oriented. It's very much just a great.
Oh, are you
Atmosphere.
doing the
Riverdale.
24 hours at Starvation Ridge?
Yes.
Do you know I'm going to Ironman it? On Ricky Bobby? We're making a Moto Monday team, though.
You cannot Ironman a bike that's not going to make it. That we've talked
Hey,
about this.
Jeremiah, you were there. You witnessed. Now, granted, a little better conditions, but I took a KLX 110 and a TTR 125 out for 24 hours at Riverdale.
I know.
A little more prep. I'm going to wing it and try to see what I can do. Me and Bob are both going to Ironman it, and we got a few other buddies going to ride pit bikes as a team, Team Moto Monday.
Well, that bike's got a fairly stock TTR 125 motor in it, right?
Stock.
Perfect. Well, I did 9 hours on mine.
Yep.
So, and it's got an 85 chassis. That'd be a solid bike as long as you leave it stock. Don't go Power Roll 140 kit. You know, got to get some exhaust.
Stock.
Some Chinese head mods or
No,
something.
I know that one. That's the one I'm riding. It'll be stock. I'm gonna go try to Ironman. You should do the team.
I'll have to find a bike.
I have a TTR 125 with a 150 engine
Where's that one at?
in storage.
Is that the small wheel one
Yeah,
that I have to build?
Speaking of
it's almost done.
Oh, is it?
Speaking of Starvation Ridge, Eddyville, quick story. Motovation. Not motivation, but motovation. Me and my buddy Bob, who's passed away, would go up. We'd drive an hour and a half up there almost every weekend. One time we got out there. It was raining. We're just sitting in my rig. Bikes are still on the trailer. We're like, it was raining. We're like, this is shitty. We sat there for probably an hour and a half. This guy pulls up next to us, unloads his bike, runs out there as fast as he can, blows his bike up within a few laps, comes back. Me and Bob are still in the truck. Windshield wipers going. This sucks. You want to go home. I see this kid, and I'm like, hey, you want to take my bike out? He's like, yeah. He goes and rides my bike out in the mud, loves it, tells me how fast it is and all that. Me and Bob get out of the truck and go ride. All because of this kid is just happy to be on the track, blows his bike up, loan him a bike. But, I mean, it's like sometimes it just takes somebody that is just happy to frickin' ride
Yeah, there's
to
people out
get
there
you out in the rain and go ride.
Yeah.
So one of my funnest times I've had with my wife and one of my friends was out. We're all supposed to meet up at Barlow. It's raining. Everybody bails out. I get a call from my buddy. He's like, hey, are you guys coming? Because I'm sitting here by myself. We're getting ready to leave. I'm like, I'm on my way. Me and the wife loaded up the bikes. We were halfway there. We get there. We rode all day long. I mean, we probably 4 hours of just solid nonstop riding. She fell in the mud puddle it sunk her and sunk the bike. I rode the wheel off the back of my RM125. My buddy wadded his XR250 on the sand track, pouring down rain the whole day. Most fun I've had.
Yeah,
on a dirt bike.
He was just so happy to freaking be there. It made us go, dude, what the F? Let's just go out and have fun.
And it was probably a blast in the mud. Just
Yeah.
Well, that mentality is what we need to tap into and get people to experience. Go out and just have a good time. I feel like a lot of that's lost in moto.
Riverdale Winter Series, one of my favorites. It's always muddy.
It's muddy,
Snow.
messy, maybe snowy, never know. It's affordable. Just a bunch of people hanging out. It's good vibes. It's good
Yes.
vibes.
And the gates are packed. Even
Yeah.
on a mud race. What do we have? 240 people on a mud race?
Yep.
That's pretty darn good.
It's fun vibes, and I like
Yeah.
that. I want to keep tapping into that. I like that. Going out for some vintage races, dude. There's no guarantee that bike's gonna last all day. But if it breaks down, you're gonna have 5 buddies run over with whatever parts or wrenches they got,
Or
and they'll help
somebody's
you
gonna
slap it
loan you a
together.
bike.
Yeah, or somebody like Ricky Rogue just hands me his bike. I'm like,
You weren't even vintage racing that day.
no, I wasn't racing. I was there to watch the last few motos of the day, and this Ricky Rogue just runs up to me, bro, you're Justin Morton. You're gonna race the blah 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 moto. I'm like, I'm what? I'm what? And he's like, yeah, you're gonna race. Just go tell them and go sign the waivers. Like, no, dude, I'm not. He's like, oh yeah, you're up in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I was at a vintage bike race, and there was a
Ooh,
guy
okay.
there that was an old mechanic. He was just there to help people fix bikes.
Yeah,
just
there's
walk
people
around the
there
pits,
just
helping
running around
fix
wrenching
bikes.
all day long, and it's just good vibes, man. It's just good vibes, and I'm so much more relaxed and I'm having so much more fun of those things. The pit bike race, dude. Everyone's just having a good time trying to keep their freaking little kid bikes running all day, and if you break down, sure, here you go, slap your number plate on it, you know?
I changed the oil because the thing overheated. First practice, went out, left, went and checked checked the race order, and as I'm leaving, somebody goes, "You're dripping oil." Lost the drain plug between my pit and coming back. Found the drain plug as I seen right where the oil started. Put the drain plug back in, dumped the other quart of oil I had in it, made sure the drain plug was tight, and went out and raced.
That's
I
pit
got
biker,
one
man.
good picture of me stuffing Reese through
Yes.
the corner and then wadded myself after that. Thought I blew my knee out, but
You
we're
didn't
walking
get a
still.
ride butt wiggle, though. We're going to
No,
have
I
to fix
didn't.
that.
Oh yeah, no, I can't wait. Well, yeah, I can.
Can I need my mug. I'm very proud of the fact that I won the 110 mod class in 1972 SL70.
72 SL70 stock forks, some $14 Chinese rear shocks, an $8 Chinese muffler that fell apart at
Yeah.
the last moto.
Lost the muffler. Yep.
Chinese 160 motor, 140 motor,
160. Yeah.
160 that we had to cut the frame to
Just to-
shove it in there and then weld the frame back together.
3 years in the making, that thing finally ran, and it was the sketchiest
What was
ride,
the rear
dude.
wheel off of an XR80, XR70?
No, actually, that's the stock rear wheel we put back on. I couldn't get
Oh,
that
everything-
KX80 wheel to work, so that's
Everything
the
was
stock.
fine.
Yeah, we replaced the cush again.
The cush drive. That's
yeah.
it? Okay, so
And it lasted, and I won both motos. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me right now. Granted, I had to work. The second
you were
moto,
working
I'm like,
hard on that one.
the second moto, I'm like, oh, they're on my ass. Like,
That was
I got to somehow make this work, because if I can get the W on butt wiggle with no muffler right now, and we named it butt wiggle for a reason, because every time you get it on the throttle, that stupid bike bounces every
it
direction.
doesn't. You don't steer it as much as you just kind of
It's
just
probably,
guide it.
I think of it as probably the same kind of body motions bull riders go through, just on a lot smaller, like,
It's funny.
sketchier
we lost
vintage thing.
mufflers on both your bikes.
what was my other bike?
The one that I was riding,
Oh.
that I got from you.
Oh, yeah.
It lost a muffler
yeah.
too.
Yeah, apparently we need to do a little
Our
better
muffler
job keeping
game's a
them
little
on.
weak right now, so that was fun. That was a good time.
Yeah, but I like that vibes. I like those vibes. I think we need to get those more into other events. The Dream Race, Joey's done a good job of just keeping that laid-back vibes there, you know, and people are having a good time. We need more of that, because that is what people have fun with.
I did that ride again that Joey and Rory put on up at Washougal, where
Yeah.
we couldn't touch the track.
Okay.
It was all trails, and they opened up it was an 8.1 mile loop of trails out there,
Nice.
and you just got to go out and run them all day long. They had 3 little special events: a little grass track, or the grass track, a little enduro cross, and then like a little GP up the hill. And it was just a short course, perfect for pit bikes. I think the guys who won it were on pit bikes,
Nice.
and you had 3 tries at each one, and it was just an all-day event, laid back. I think it was $40 to do. They had killer trophies. Everybody had a good time. Kids out there, adults, full family vibe. It was a lot of fun.
I like events like that. I
Yeah.
think we need, honestly, those little offshoot events like that.
The Mad Hatter,
One
one of the best times I've ever had.
Those may be the future.
I think they are. Like the fairgrounds thing we did, that stuff like that.
That
is
might be the
just
future.
A lot of fun, because series are getting
Series
it's getting a little
are
monotonous, and it's hard.
yeah.
Life is getting so busy. It's hard to go 26 races at
Oh, PIR is crazy.
PIR.
Granted, it's very easy to go to and very affordable.
It is.
So it's a lot of races.
To run the series. Now, if they did, cut it back to maybe 19 races and did 7 practices, I think they'd have just as good of a turnout.
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
'Cause
Now,
practice on that track is key. Being able to get a feel for that track, I think, helps you not only get faster but ride safer there, and it calm people down.
yeah,
People treat that like it's Supercross,
Yeah.
like they're racing their Supercross race. But I love that track. I love the dirt.
oh, the dirt
I
is
had
prime.
so much fun there. Me and that track have had a love-hate relationship for a long time. Got to race out there 3 times this year, and I loved it. So much fun.
Once for me. I'm slacking. We're going to have to go in a few minutes. We still
Yeah.
have our after show, but the one thing we were supposed to address.
We need to address lawsuits. Why are you suing the track that you ride at? Why are you suing to shut this down? You know it's a dangerous sport. We know it's dangerous. We signed a waiver. It's this, I know I'm taking my life into my own hands. Why even have that if you're going to go try to sue the track for anything could happen at the track?
I was told early on, you ever get hurt at a track and you end up in the hospital, I crashed mountain biking a public trail.
Yep.
Because your insurance company might go after the track, not you. And in some cases, that's 110% what's going on.
Yep.
I really struggle with the people, though, who have lawsuits with the tracks, even no matter what the situation, just because it's so easy to shut a track down from one lawsuit. And the insurance rates are getting crazy. Actually, my opinion on insurance should not exist.
No,
I think the entire healthcare system in the U.S., it's this thing where they make it super expensive. The insurance makes it expensive because they have to pay these. And why is it if I had to go get a sling when I dislocated my elbow. And they were going to charge me $135 for a sling that was $15.95 on Amazon. Why is it $130?
Are we
That's not-
separating track workers from riders?
Yeah. No,
I'm coming right back around to this. But that is insane. So the whole system's jacked up. The whole system outside of Moto, I think, is jacked up. But
healthcare, one thing though, what drives me nuts is how do you have something that is required that you can only sign up for 1 month out of the year? I can't get healthcare outside of the open enrollment period, which is November through December. And when I sign up in November, I still don't get healthcare coverage till the first of the year.
it's so messed up, the entire healthcare system.
I can't even go to the doctor because I don't know what it's going to cost.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I got a $900 procedure. I paid $800. I was just like, why do I even have health insurance?
Yeah.
I guess it's my deductible, but Jesus,
It's insane. It is so insane. But that's
So-
a bigger problem.
yeah,
Now,
so
what are you
anyway.
saying about, what do you mean if it was a rider or a worker?
so
Track
if
worker.
you're a worker, you should have some labor and industries.
You should.
So let's just kind of take the track worker out of. I mean, we're talking riders suing, right? Not track workers that get hurt while working.
They
Two
fall-
totally different things.
Okay, so here's my opinion. Even if you get hurt working at the track, you should not start a lawsuit with the track. However, the L&I thing, I get that. Man, does L&I get you hard, though, on people working at the track.
It's a job. You're getting paid to be there.
Yeah.
Do you know what they have? I mean, what these tracks have to pay?
Yeah, but you know how much it costs to get life flighted out of a track when
Yeah.
you're working?
Which is
I mean,
a
I have
1 out
L&I
of
at work, and I'm a
5,000.
salesman.
Well, 1 out of 5,000, 1 out of 10,000.
Right, but then that
thing.
guy gets treated like shit because he's not covered when he should be covered by L&I because he's on the job.
Are we bringing up a
Yes,
particular? Okay.
yes.
Well, obviously you had something in your head. I'm just
Yeah.
generalizing.
Okay.
Okay. So the L&I thing, yeah. If you
It's totally different because you're not there to be in the event. You know the risk, but when you're a track worker and something just happens.
if you're an actual worker, if you're a volunteer, all bets are off. That's what you get.
Yep.
If you're a worker Yes, and I know a lot of the tracks pay L&I on their workers. But here's my thing, and part of what's killing it, well, we have to do that. Now, let's say you have a track like Mountain View. We have to have 6, 8, 9 flaggers, add in several watering staff. Now, they all have to get paid wages. And then L&I is like $5 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
L&I is insane for someone because working at a track because it's a high risk.
Yep.
L&I, there's few things I hate in life more than L&I. L&I, as someone who actually I had audit back in the day. I hired a private contractor to go do a job. He got into an argument with an L&I teacher, someone the guy who teaches the classes and stuff. Well, the guy's like, let me see your business license. His business license had expired. So because I had hired someone with an expired business license, he just not went in to renew it or something dumb. They came back at me and said, that's your employee. No, I hired him for a one-day project. He has a business. Here's his business. And they're like, well, it's expired, so we have to assume that's your employee. Here's your bill for $38,000 in back taxes. Like, huh? You have 60 days to pay this or we will arrest you. Dude, it's not my employee. Okay, well, we have to audit you for 5 years then just to make sure he's not your employee. I went through months. I mean, have you ever had an audit? It is horrible. Like, they want to go through all this, that. They literally took me in it. Like, this person walked me in a suit, walked me into this room, shut the door, shades are down. Sir, sit in this chair. I'm like, this feels like I'm going to jail. Right? It was super sketchy. And gave me this whole thing. Do you realize how much trouble you're in? Nope, but I'm going to find out, huh? And all because of one little slip up. L&I, I hate L&I and how they do business and how they get you. I'm little off left field with it. I do believe workers, yeah, you're probably going to need covered. But
If a track decides not to pay it, the person shouldn't get ostracized because they're suing them. I mean, it's...
Well, you're going back to a particular... I'm generalizing here. I don't even know which one we're talking about. But you have something in your mind.
Yeah.
We don't need to name names. Let's not go into it. You have... Maybe we'll say it once the podcast is over. We can talk about it more.
No, you ride on a track, you assume the risks.
You ride
It's
on
like
track,
anything.
yes.
You know, you
agree
walk
with that.
down the sidewalk, you get hit by a car, you walk off the road, you do something stupid,
Yeah.
it's your
And
fault.
like you said, it's most of the time it's the insurance company of that person going
Yeah.
after the track. And then that person gets ostracized because his insurance company doesn't want to foot the whole bill because it was
Oh,
an
and that
accident.
totally happens. That totally happens
Yeah.
where people will get their name put out into public
Yeah.
as someone who's suing a track, but it's actually their insurance company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the insurance companies are trying to recoup some of their costs, so they go look at what can we do. And if you get, I always tell, like I said earlier, mountain biking, public park. However, you take an ambulance out of the track, it's obvious where it came from.
Yeah.
You can't get around that. The insurance company knows where you're
Yeah.
at.
Half the time you're undressing on the way to the hospital.
Yeah.
Putting on jeans and shoes. I've done that before.
Yeah, there's no way getting
Yeah.
around that, and then insurance companies will go after
Yeah.
the track if they think they can get some out of it. The whole thing, I think, from top to bottom, the whole healthcare system, it's all messed up. But
It's a shit show.
That's
Any kind of insurance. I paid $240 a month for a Suburban and a dirt bike.
That's not even healthcare.
No,
That's just
that's not
insurance.
even healthcare. That's just automotive insurance.
Yeah.
I hate insurance. I think it's all a big scam. It's just like this snowball. It's getting worse and worse. Healthcare goes up, insurance goes up, and then L&I goes up. It's just out of control.
Well,
you
health
can't-
insurance, you got a CEO making $5 million a year.
Well, you
Somebody's got to
can't-
pay him, and that's us.
You
I
can't
it's
tell
just
me that-
ridiculous.
These hospitals and stuff aren't making money. Look at the urgent care. The Vancouver Clinic? How many new buildings have they put up in the last 10 years?
But you also got to realize there's people with no insurance that us with insurance
Have to cover.
have to cover.
Yep.
Yep.
Because the hospital can't lose money or it's not in business.
Right.
Yep.
But their CEO doesn't need to make $2 million a year.
No.
We've officially gotten off of motocross a little
Yeah,
bit.
let's-
I hate insurance. I hate
Sorry,
the whole
yes.
thing.
Go ahead, I
No,
jumped
that's
in.
fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Do you know what insurance for a track costs per event?
Yeah. No,
Can you
I'm not
say
a
it?
track owner. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. I'm not a track owner. Like
It's
I
a
said,
lot.
My job title for when I do these events is I'm a marketing guy. I say promoter because it's the easiest term, but I'm really more of the marketing guy. People hire me to help manage the flow of their social media, their marketing, their branding, how to attract riders to an event, and how to make the event go smooth.
I was told a number, but I can't remember what it was. But it was pretty outrageous to actually be legit, have insurance for an event, and it was a lot of money.
Very easily for
Not
them.
But then everybody
O&I.
wants to complain about gate fees, race fees. They don't know what it costs to actually run that one event. They think these tracks are getting rich.
I started racing.
The insurance company's getting rich. That's about it.
Yeah, I started racing. It's been 12 years ago. 12 years ago, PIR, it was $20 to race, $8 to get in. Now it's $20 to race and $10 to get in. $30.
Hasn't gone up much.
Back then, a cheeseburger at McDonald's was 99 cents.
Yeah, that's
Now
like
they're
$1.99.
$4.
Yeah,
No,
$4.
you go and get a meal at McDonald's. Back then, it was $4.99. Now it's $10.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rates have not. I know a lot of people are really getting down on the tracks for raising their prices. You got to understand though, they ain't getting rich off that. There's oftentimes I make better money off my T-shirt sales than I will profit from gate fees and all that. Like it's getting tough. The insurance, all the people that working there, it's getting tough. I get why I try to go a different path and lower my prices in hopes I would get a lot more riders. I'm taking that gamble. That's a gamble. Hoping the dice come out in my favor.
It works most of the time, though.
But I get why people raise their prices because it's getting tough out there. It's a
expensive.
dog-eat-dog world.
Everything's expensive.
Yeah, it's getting tough. Insurance is not cheap, and it keeps going up. I'm not going to go throw out numbers, but just know that there ain't a track owner that I know around here that's making any
Dan's
good
got some numbers.
money.
Dan threw out some numbers.
$15K a year.
I'm sure you can go talk to you. I just don't want to speak for the track
and
owners.
no
You know what I
insurance
mean?
company
I
will
don't
cover
want
the rider.
I don't want to speak for the track owners.
Yep.
I mean, if
I'd
you're
rather not go out on a limb.
if
there,
you're a
so.
rider, you are assuming the responsibilities.
Yes.
I mean, it's a dangerous sport. Point blank. I've gotten many accidents where I got hurt really bad, didn't sue.
Well, look at football players. There's no union medical benefits for football players. There's no baseball players. Any of those guys. They're not covered. They're doing this for the money. But you go to look at the guys out there playing indoor soccer. Pickup basketball. I've had friends that I race with that play in pickup basketball blow their knee out. Nobody's covering that.
That's why everybody's playing video games.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, playing the video.
Full
game.
circle.
I
know,
still
full
think
circle. JS. Hashtag JS.
You only live once.
you do
Go have some fun. Do some real life experience.
enjoy some stuff. Some of the best times I was at my family reunion this weekend. Me and my cousins are talking about
Fun stuff
riding,
is dangerous.
30 years ago. We got pictures of us riding together 30 years ago. 8 of us. Half of us that were there were riding together on that trip. Some of us weren't there anymore. Some of us aren't in the family anymore, but things like that. And what happens when everybody starts getting a little, frisky? Oh, let's break out the dirt bikes and go racy. My brother and my uncle were the ones that did the two. My uncle's 65 years old.
Yeah, it's like same
What
thing.
are you doing?
It's the same thing with practice tracks at somebody's house. People are afraid to let people ride at their house because they're afraid they're going to get sued.
Exactly.
It's like, when you put your leg over a dirt bike, you could hurt yourself really bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why would you sue somebody that is doing you a favor of letting them ride at your house?
Yeah.
I mean, I have land, and I'd be damned if I'm letting somebody ride on it. If they hit a tree, I'm getting sued and losing everything I own just for being the nice guy that says, "Hey, come ride at my house."
A lot of local tracks have gotten shut down from people suing. That's a whole different ball of wax.
Yeah.
It's a touchy subject. It's a real weird touchy subject because I don't want to see anyone get hurt and then lose everything because they can't afford to pay it.
Yeah.
But I think we got to loop around the main problem is actually the whole healthcare industry making it insane. It should not be $6,000-$7,000 a night to stay in a hospital.
No.
It should not be $130 for a sling. I went to see a specialist about my arm, who told me she literally hopped on Google in front of me. And I'm like, you're Googling how to take care of a dislocated elbow. I'm watching her. She wasn't even ashamed. She's like, oh, yeah. No. She hopped on PubMed. I'm like, I can do that on my phone. I can get on PubMed on my phone. Yeah. I get home, a couple weeks later, get a bill for $180.
Yeah. But again, it's the people that don't have insurance.
Yep.
That don't pay their bills.
Yep. The whole system's broke. The whole system's broke.
Yeah.
And it's messing us all up. Like,
Same
I don't want to see
automotive
riders
insurance.
get hurt and lose everything, but I don't want to see tracks go away because all it takes is one nasty lawsuit. Bye. Gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that this morning. How it would take one bad season of things happening, and we could lose every track in the Northwest.
Yep.
If insurance doubled right now, we would lose
Everything.
Washougal, Woodland, Riverdale, probably Mountain View, most likely PIR.
Oh,
What's left?
Oh, yeah. Because their job's not, I mean, PIR doesn't have it easy. They have to deal with the freaking city.
Yeah.
You know, they got all sorts of loopholes in there. They got to have extra security.
Well, they got insurance out the ass.
Insurance, yeah. Like, it's a pain.
And
They
you gotta
can't
deal
run
with the
without
cars.
it. They can't run without it.
No, they can't. They can't run without a medic being there.
Yep.
What happens if your medic gets in a car accident on the way there? Now you've got to spend extra money to find a medic to get there before 6 o'clock, before racing starts.
No, I don't even
To be
wanna-
done
That's
by,
right. You
to be
you
done
had
by,
that.
yeah, to be done by 10
Been
o'clock
there.
at night.
Yeah.
To be done by 10 o'clock at night.
It's wild.
That track's
gonna-
been running for 53, 54 years.
I think
Over 55.
54
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
And now you're down to 10 o'clock at night
Yep.
because the neighbors.
Yep. Not easy to run PIR. They got
It's
it rough.
been there
They still keep it going, though.
the same night, every night.
Yep.
Every Thursday night.
Thank you,
to the
Rick and
Sunday.
Ron.
Yep. Thank you,
Yeah,
Rick
shout
and
out
Ron.
to Rick and Ron for
Thanks
putting
for-
up with. I can only imagine how much stuff. and just keeping it going.
Thanks for taking the ass abuse for us.
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay, we're gonna have to wrap this up. We're already running a bit late. We still got an after show to do. Jeremiah, thank you.
Oh, thank you, Justin.
It's always fun talking about. This was a little bit of a rant episode, but
It was good.
Was it?
We
Joe?
got a rant. We got a rant. Once medical came involved, it's
Yeah.
Oh, medical got a little.
my mouth
deep
opened
there.
up.
Remember,
But-
we're just three guys talking here.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
If you don't want to watch, don't watch.
Get off the damn video games.
Yes.
Go ride at the track. Don't talk crap about them on social media or behind their back. If you got a issue, maybe wait till a little chiller practice day. Like, hey, can we chat? Most things are usually misunderstanding or can be worked out because most promoters want the riders to go have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
They're just so used to getting yelled at 24/7. It's like a wall. It's just like you ain't getting through it because you'll have 40, 50 people come at you with all sorts of things. I mean, you as just the race marshal, how many times have we like, hey, is that a big wheel? Hey, can you do a teardown? Hey, we had one guy that, had that big bore. Remember that big bore? And you're like, no, I'm not tearing his bike down. It's not a big bore. You just get so much. Sometimes you develop this wall thing. And,
you're racing the
and then
Pee Wee
people are like,
50
well,
class.
he
Come
turned
on,
me
guys.
down. Oh, let's not even go into the Pee-wees. We do not have time for
It's
the
a
Pee-wee
free class. It's a free
We do not have-
class.
Yes.
Just
but
go out and enjoy it. It's there to feed you into the 50 mod and above.
when things are a little more chill, just go have a chat. A
Yeah.
chill chat. Don't yell at them in their face. That you're not getting anywhere. You go. I just swallowed a bug. Okay.
Dumb and
Good
Dumber.
luck on
Added
1
June
p.m. on a race day at PRO, and you go start yelling at Ted Duvall's face. He's got 20 years of dealing with people yelling at you. You ain't getting anywhere.
I watched it at Albany last year.
Yeah, it's a wall. It is a Trump wall.
Trump
It is
wall.
a Trump wall.
You aren't getting anywhere.
Don't give him a cat.
You want to shoot him an email maybe on a Tuesday?
Yeah.
10 times better chance of getting somewhere.
Yes.
But it's not the way to.
Well, you don't. You do not venture complaints to the promoter at the race because that's their most stressful time. Usually, a promoter like you usually have me running interference, trying for Charlotte, trying for you at Riverdale during the Winter Series. That's
I think most of the promoters and track owners want everyone to have a good time.
yep.
Yeah.
They want people to go out and have fun at their events. We need to keep supporting them. I don't care what track
Yeah.
it is. We need to keep
Dude,
supporting them.
It's like track costs go up $5 a year. If it does, that's one less freaking latte. You'll go to freaking Starbucks and spend $5 on a coffee. You can make it home for
7.
50 cents. 7 plus tip.
I have
It's like-
seen what
Dude.
softball costs.
Yep.
And you know how much time that sucks out of your day.
Yeah.
Now, like,
So,
it's
you
not that bad. Is it getting worse? It is getting worse. Mini racing is getting really rough. But overall.
Well, you also race like 3 classes.
Well,
Yeah.
an $1,100 motor build on a 50.
Yeah.
And
So
you have 5 motors.
we could do a
sitting
whole
there.
nother podcast
Yep.
on that. I have opinion on that too. But anyways, support
fun
your
costs
tracks.
money.
Yes,
All of them.
support.
Go ride them. Everyone thinks so. I get, I'm hating on this track, whatever. Nah, I go
bring a
ride
f-
all the tracks.
Bring a friend.
Yes,
Go
bring
talk
your
to your
buddy.
friend.
Bring
Bring
your
your-
gamer nerd buddy.
Bring it. Go find a buddy, a brother-in-law, your nephew, somebody. Take him to the track with you.
Joe-
Force him to come out that day. Tell him leave
How
their
small is your
electronics at
bladder? How small is Joe's bladder?
home. About this big.
About that big, about the size of an apricot.
No, but you got to get people involved in this sport and that's why I love the fairground thing, because you expose yourself to 100 different people or thousands of people that have never seen anything like it. They were hooping and hollering in the stands, talking about it, having a great time. How do you think monster trucks got so big?
Yeah.
Demolition derbies.
We need that excitement. We need people into it. We need to keep supporting them. I think if we don't do that, we're gonna start losing some tracks. Seriously. So go
We
out,
are.
support them, go ride, go race, go have a good time. You don't have to keep up with the Joneses. You don't need a 2019. It's okay to have a 2008 bike, and you can make it run like a champ.
Yeah.
Go out, just ride, have fun.
Yeah, that's all it's about. It's fun. That's what this is. It's fun.
Jeremiah, it's been
Justin,
fun.
always.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Like I
you.
said, folks, we'll be back with the after show here in just a few minutes, but we're going to shut this down for now. Thank you for
you,
watching
guys.
or listening to episode 104 with Jeremiah Fultz. See you guys.